What's going on, football fans? I am Blitz Link, and I'm here with Dan Loya, and we are talking Week 3 predictions around the NFL, telling you guys our picks, key matchups to look out for, potentially a little bit of betting advice mixed in here as well of some matchups that we like. So, Dan, I think without further ado, let's get right into it and talk about our first matchup here. And let's talk about two matchups kind of intertwined with one. We got the New York Jets traveling to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers, and then you have the Raiders traveling to Washington to face the Commanders. The similarity between these games, the Jets are without Justin Fields, the Commanders are without Jaden Daniels. If you like one of these two teams to pull it off the upset without their quarterback one, which team do you think has a better chance, the Jets or the Commanders to beat either the Bucks or the Raiders this week?
Man, that's a tough one. I mean, I guess for just this week, it could be the Jets because I'm looking at the Buccaneers injury report and they're full. They're full of players. I mean, I
Getting to
thought
be that
Tristan
time of
Wirfs.
the year.
Yeah, Tristan Wirfs is out. Chris Godwin's out. Ibuka's questionable, and then they lost two offensive linemen on Monday night too. So if I know the Jets are kind of banged up too, but I'm looking at it and it says all full. All these players: Sauce Gardner, Andre Cisco, Michael Carter. So the Jets might be the healthier team going into Tampa Bay. And like I said earlier this week, they can run the ball, and if they do that, I think they can pull off the upset. Not, I wouldn't bet on it, but I
Now,
think they have a better chance than the Commanders.
yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think they can run the ball well, and I think their offensive line's shown that they're actually, a little bit underrated in terms of how they started this season. I'm probably
Yeah,
going with the Commanders. I think Marcus Mariota has shown that he can plug and play a little bit. We saw him even last year have some games where he was viable and had the Commanders playing pretty good football. The Raiders, I think though, I'm still going to lean Raiders in that matchup because I think there's a lot that I like and just don't like about the Raiders, but I think they match up well with the Commanders in terms of their passing attack, what they can do to that defense. And I think that this could be a get right game for Ashton Genty. You want to know the numbers behind it, Dan?
yeah,
Ashton
let's hear it.
Genty has the 47th best run blocking unit in front of him compared to every other running back in the NFL right now, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. So they gotta figure that running game out, and it starts with up front with that offensive line. Should be a good matchup for them against the Commanders. Commanders side of things, I think like Marcus Mariota gives you a chance, right? If you don't turn the ball
Yeah.
over, you keep this a close game around the 20s. They can easily win this game because they do have some playmakers like Debo, Terry McLaurin. I'm interested to see if Cliff Kingsbury has a little bit of magic up his sleeve and potentially cook something up against
It's
that
going to be a
defense.
similar offense. Yeah,
It
I
is
mean,
very,
with
very similar offenses between Chip Kelly and Cliff Kingsbury there. I think with the Jets, though, what's
yeah,
interesting is, Tyrod Taylor stepped in last week, one touchdown in his one drive. We'll see if he has a little bit of that left in him. I know this Bucks defense has been playing very, very good to start the season, but should be interesting. Let's talk about it. Probably one of the best matchups of the week, the Rams versus the Eagles, Dan. Talk to me about what you're looking at in this matchup, and then we'll kind of get into picks after we both talk about it.
it should be a heavyweight fight on Sunday. Two marquee teams in the NFC going at it. It's a rematch of what their divisional playoff last year.
Yeah,
Divisional,
divisional.
right? Yeah, and I mean the Rams had them on the ropes in the snow, and it ended. Man, I forget off the top of my head, but they were like inside the 20.
It
They
was
they were
first
driving.
quarter they were driving and they couldn't get done.
Yeah, they couldn't finish. But no, I just think it's going to be a great battle. The Rams got a great defense. So is the Eagles. The matchup I'm looking forward to is that Eagles passing game. I don't think it's going to get any better against the Rams, who are pretty solid against the pass this year. So I'm interested to see if they'll be able to try to open anything up. I don't think they will. Will I don't think AJ Brown's gonna have a big game. Devontae Smith. The Rams defense is very underrated, and I just think the Rams are gonna pull off the upset.
Mm. I think the interesting part about this matchup is that the Rams have played the Eagles so well over the past like two
Yeah,
seasons that just seems like they can't get over the hump, almost like a Bills and Chiefs type of vibe between these two
good
teams
point.
in
Yeah,
the NFC. And I think I'm more concerned about the Eagles than I am the Rams. Sure, the Rams haven't
yeah,
necessarily, played their best football to start the season, but they're 2-0, right? They added Devontae Adams this offseason. The defense is much better than they were last year. And on Philly's side of things, like They have no down the field passing attack right now, and it's very, very concerning for me. Saquon Barkley is a great player. This offensive line is basically the second coming of Jesus when it comes to blocking. I mean, they're unbelievable back there. But I mean, Jalen Hurts, like the ADOT, the throws at the line of scrimmage, the 100 passing yard games, like I think 4 of his last 5 are under 175 yards, which is crazy to think about. And they've won all those games. Like, sure, they could rely on Jalen Hurts not doing enough, but in a game like this against the Rams, like I think he's going to have to air the ball out, let it go, because defenses are going to start to make some adjustments and just say, or even play the same way they are. Where okay, we're going to let Philly do what they want. They'll get 20 points, but we're just going to get 24. We're going to get 27. We're going to have the better game and we're going to control it because nothing has been pretty right now for the Eagles offense. I am going to pick the Rams as well in this one. I think they are in a better spot than the Eagles to start the season. I think the Eagles are by far the better roster, but I'm going to take
Yeah,
the
by
better
far.
head coach, the better quarterback, and the 2 better receivers. I know that might be controversial, but I'm going to take Puka and Devontae over AJ Brown and Devonta. I mean, I think we're both in agreement. Like this is the best upset pick of the week is Rams over
Yeah.
Eagles in Philly.
Oh, so yeah, I'm looking at it. So the Rams defense is ranked third in the NFL for EPA per play, pass play. So top three for them, and then the Eagles offense passing. They are bottom of the NFL. They're 23rd.
Yeah, that's not
So
that's
I
not
and it's not a good matchup for them passing.
mm,
And I mean they haven't that these past couple games they haven't been able to throw the ball. I don't think it's really creative on the offensive side, and I don't think it's going to get any better this week.
no, it's not. All right, let's talk about the AFC South matchups. We got the Texans traveling to Jacksonville, then the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Tennessee. Obviously, the Colts are the only undefeated team left in the division, but it really felt like the Texans and Jaguars this week was supposed to be a battle of 2 teams we expect to be at the top of the division. But hey, Indianapolis Colts are a pleasant surprise, and Daniel Jones' resurgence is a pleasant surprise. Talk to me about each of these matchups, what you're looking for, and who you like in each of them.
Well, first I'll start off with the Texans and Jaguars. I took a lot of notes on this matchup. I'm really
Hmm.
excited about it. Uh, I forget who you picked, but I got Jacksonville in this game. Houston they got a great defense. Okay, they got a great defense. There is one weakness about it is their rushing. Their rushing defense up the middle. That's
Yeah.
their little vulnerability, and I believe the Jaguars will attack that this weekend. The Jaguars are 5th in EPA per rush. Houston's sixth worst in the NFL against the run EPA. So I mean, there's your mismatch right there. Uh, ETN is rushing for 170 yards per game. He also leads the NFL in yards per carry, which I thought was pretty interesting. Yards after contact, 113. So I really think Travis Etienne's going to have a huge game on Sunday. What concerns me though is their left tackle, Jacksonville's left tackle. I believe it's Walker Little, right?
I
He had a
believe so.
tough game against.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a tough game against Trey Henderson, and I don't think it's going to get any easier against Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. So they got to protect Trevor Lawrence, who on Sunday against the Bengals was pretty wild with the football. He's got to take care of the ball. He's throwing his receivers over the middle, dangerous throws. He's got to be better. Trevor Lawrence. They just got to run the ball. Trust your offense, and with that offensive, with Leland Cohen coming over from Tampa Bay, he loves to run the football, and I think he'll be able to exploit that matchup on Sunday.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to watch that matchup unfold as it comes down to it. I think I'm going with the Texans, so I went opposite of you, and it's because of that
Yeah,
defense. I think Liam Cohen is great, and he's going to be able to scheme up good runs against this Texans defense. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think that X factor is that pass rush and that pass defense. Trevor Lawrence has not impressed me, and I think Liam Cohen is a good. My biggest thing, it's the same thing with the Bears, and we'll talk about them in a sec. You look at
mhm,
Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson's yards created before contact in the running game. Both of them ranked top 5 in the NFL in that stat. That means that they are designing good runs. The offensive lines are blocking well. But when it comes to their running backs, obviously Chicago hasn't had the success after it. Jacksonville has, and Travis Etienne's been really good to start the year, right? He knows how to scheme up a running game. Really good start. But Trevor Lawrence is not taking that step. I They had 2 games where they should have dominated. This passing game should have been very effective with the improvement in the ground game. It just hasn't been there because Trevor Lawrence does not see a defense well, and he's not very consistent when he's out there on the field. So that is my biggest concern. Faces a really tough division opponent in the Texans. And I think
Yeah,
they're just due. Like their offense is they played 2 good teams. The Rams and the Bucks are playoff teams from last year. The Jaguars are not. The offense should look slightly better this week. I don't expect to be much better, but the Jaguars are a much better matchup than either of those teams. So I'm going to take Houston, but we didn't even talk about the Colts, man. The Colts have a
yeah.
chance to go 3-0 this week, Dan, and further separate themselves within the division if the Jaguars lose this one. So Danny Dimes and company, I think it could be a potential trap game. Obviously, division games are always hard. The Titans defense has played pretty well to start the year. Let's see if they continue to keep up that momentum. All right, let's move on here. We got the backup quarterback showdown between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Minnesota Vikings. Dan, what are we looking at in this matchup? Are either of these teams, I don't know how to put it. Are either of these teams confident in what they can produce on offense this week?
Well, I have more confidence in Minnesota's offense than Cincinnati without Joe Burrow. I think Kevin O'Connell and Carson Wentz are going to be able to move the ball on Sunday. Cincinnati's defense outside Trey Hendrickson, uh, I don't think it's anything special. I know they're 2-0, but they should have lost both games. They played a close game against Cleveland and then a close game last week against Jacksonville. So it's a very sketchy 2-0 if you ask me. And I just believe in Minnesota more. I believe they have a better head coach, and then they're going to have the better quarterback on Sunday too, and their defense. They're just better overall.
They
Better
are.
overall for them.
The better
Yeah.
roster is going to wind up. You know what I want to watch? I want to watch Minnesota's offensive line finally step up and play like the talent they have in that unit. Obviously, Christian Darrisaw, if he plays, if he doesn't play, like it doesn't matter, right? The other guys need to step up. They're plenty talented enough to have successful games. Trey Hendrickson and company will be a good test for them up front. I do love Jordan Mason overs this week in total yards, rushing plus receiving. So that is a good value bet for all you bettors out there. We're locking in Vikings, Jordan Mason props, pair those together, make yourself some cash this weekend. Let's go into, a bigger matchup here. Two similar kind of, routes, on both sides of the ball. You have the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Carolina in that big time matchup. And then you have the Steelers traveling to New England. You know why I brought this up, Dan? You have a
Yeah.
playoff team from last year that was, the Falcons weren't a playoff team, but 2 teams stuck right around 500 that could not beat good teams, and then 2 potentially ascending teams with their quarterback trying to figure out with more talent around them if they're the answer. What are you looking at in these matchups, which is potentially week 3, a very signaling and telling week with how your season's going to go?
Yeah, well, we'll start off in the NFC South. I think Atlanta should take care of business. I see they're 5.5 point favorites on the road against Carolina. Just they have too much skill on their offense. And then Carolina, they lost 2 starting offensive linemen. Just nothing's going right over there. They can't run the ball. So I know it's a divisional game. So Atlanta should take care of business on Sunday. Do you want to add on to that, or we can move on to Pittsburgh, New England?
I'll
Kind of-
say on the Atlanta side of things, like I want to
Yeah,
see this passing offense get going a little bit more than they were. Michael Penix did not have a flashy game against the Vikings. Plus matchup for them. Let's see if they improve on that. And Bryce Young side of things, like it's now or never, Bryce. It's time to start proving it. The Falcons are a tough matchup. Looks like this defense is much better than we expected. So Bryce Young
yeah,
step
the
up to the
pass
plate.
rush. Yeah,
But that Steelers and Patriots game, man, I think this one has more headlines than a majority of games this week, considering the fact Drake May had his best game of his career potentially last week against the Dolphins. Aaron
mhm,
Rodgers and company are looking to get back in the win column after a loss to the Seattle Seahawks. Rodgers didn't have his best game, but this Pittsburgh Steelers ground game, Dan, been quite inefficient. And then the defensive side of the ball, 62 points allowed through 2 weeks, their most since 1989. Is this time to worry
wow.
about Pittsburgh, and is this time for New England to ascend?
Yeah, I picked New England for this game. Uh, just man, where do we start here? New England. Well, I think they need Christian Gonzalez,
They do.
and
They desperately do.
yeah,
They've been getting beat up bad and they're on defense.
yeah. So he's as of Friday, he's questionable still. As of this recording, he's questionable. But like New England's ranked 31 EPA against the pass. That's awful. Pittsburgh's offense is only 16th, so if they have Christian Gonzalez, I expect an improvement for New England. And then New England's defense is really good against the run. So, like you said about Pittsburgh unable to run a ball, I don't think it's going to get any easier this week against the Patriots. What I'm looking forward to, I guess, is New England's eighth EPA passing offense. I think they should be able to continue their carry over their success from Miami into this game against Pittsburgh, who's ranked 28th against the pass. So I just think New England's going to be able to move the ball on offense. I would like to see Trayvon Henderson get more involved in the passing game. He looked really explosive on Sunday. You get that guy in open space, it only takes one little swing pass to him, and he could take it to the house anywhere on the football field. So that's what I want to see on Sunday. Also, if we flip, Pittsburgh's left side of the offensive line is giving up the fifth highest pressure rate. They gave up 6 sacks last week. And they're just. I think that New England's pass rush should take advantage of the Steelers' left side of the offensive line.
Well, see, the funny part is Steelers fans told me they didn't want another tackle because their offensive line was good. So a little bit
I
interesting
said that.
there. The Steelers fans were all about telling me that their offensive line's all good and they don't need a tackle. But hey, they're struggling up front right now. And I think with
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, I'm going with them in this matchup, and it's I think in a large part due. I don't think the Patriots are just at that level yet. Miami's defense has looked like the worst defense in the NFL to start the year, and the Patriots had a little bit of a rocky performance against the Raiders to open the season, a little bit of inconsistencies with that unit. I do think their team is better. The protection rate around Drake May is much better. TreVeyon Henderson needs to get more involved. I think the Patriots, this is not their time yet. I think a veteran team like the Steelers early on in the year is going to be able to take advantage of an ascending New England team. If you were to ask me when these teams play week 16, I think I'm picking the Patriots. And with a healthy Christian Gonzalez, that makes a big time impact. But I think the Patriots pass rush might not be enough against the Steelers' bad offensive line. I think Aaron Rodgers could come through with a big time performance. I know Brady's not going to like it if he listens to this video, me saying that is Aaron Rodgers turning back the clock and beating his team up. But that is how I think it's going to play out in this matchup. Let's talk about some of the other games in the middle to later slate of this week. We got a great division game between the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers. Dan, what are you looking at in this matchup?
Yeah, this is gonna be another heavyweight fight in the AFC here. It's gonna be a tough game. The spread's real close. Last time I checked, was it 2.5 still? Mm, what we got here? Too many games. Yeah, 2.5. Chargers are favored at home, 2.5. So, yeah, man, where do we start here? I picked. Well, I'll save that for last. But yeah, no, the Chargers are rolling on offense. They are absolutely rolling, and we all thought they were going to be a running football team this year. And these past 2 games, they've let unleashed Herbert, and he's throwing all over the football field. So their passing game is real impressive. And I'm really curious if they're going to switch it up this week against the Denver Broncos. Are they going to run more? Who knows? Because Broncos defense, and they're ranked fourth QB pressures in the NFL. They're top 10 in EPA defense, and it's just their pass rush is still really good. So if the Chargers want to be pass happy, I think the Broncos defensive line should have some success on Sunday. So I'm real curious how the Chargers are going to attack Denver. On the offensive side, I want to see Bo Nix take care of the football more, kind of similar to Trevor Lawrence. His turnover worthy play percentage is 7.23. It's just way too high. He threw 3 interceptions. What is it? 3 interceptions on the year or last week? He's got too many interceptions. He's got 3 so far this year. So I would like to see him take care of the football.
Yeah, I think, in this matchup, I'm actually going to probably – who are you going to go with in this?
I took the Broncos because I'm hoping they're desperate. It's gonna be close though. I would not put any money on this game. This
I'm
is
taking the
AFC.
Broncos as well, too.
You
I
took
think
Denver too? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think with the matchup, I started to see cracks in the shiny armor of the Los Angeles Chargers after a week and a half of dominating, offensive production. And it's the fact they don't run the ball anymore well, right? That's the whole reason defenses have struggled against the Chargers to start the year is because the play action is working so well and defenses are like, oh, this is a run first Chargers team. It's a division opponent. We've seen what they did last year with Greg Roman, and they've been coming out and passing the ball. I think teams are going to start to make adjustments. And it even became harder for the Chargers in the second half when the Raiders realized, oh, they're not really a run first team anymore. Actually, they're a pass first team. And when defenses have that game plan going in instead of a run first game plan, it changes everything. So I think that part is negated for the Chargers. Losing Khalil Mack is also a massive loss for this defense, their best pass rusher by far. So that's a big time loss. On Denver's side of things, I take a look at the defense matching up with the Chargers offense, and I think it's a great matchup to negate that Chargers offense. Sure, the Broncos offense has not been clicking on all cylinders and to all that to start the season, but division matchup, I think they can do just enough to sneak by the Chargers, and I like them to snag this game away from them. Let's talk about two more big games during this slate. The Cowboys taking on the Chicago Bears. Dan, what do you want to see from both sides of things here?
I think it's just gonna be a shootout. This reminds me of some Big 12 on Fox because there's gonna be no defense in this game. It's gonna be whoever makes one stop on defense probably wins the game, and that might be the last possession. I just think maybe Montez Sweat could get a little strip sack on Dak to end the game, and that's how this game ends.
He's
And
been very
it's one
quiet to
of
start this year.
yeah, he's got to step it up. So I mean, this is another one that's like I think the total is 50.5. If it still is, hopefully, I would like to see the Bears defense, Bears offense improve. I want to see them put up some points this week. Get Colston Loveland involved. I want to see Caleb get a little more comfortable. Continue to improve each week against this Cowboys defense, who gave up a lot of points against the New York Giants.
Yeah, 100%. I want to see, 100% the Bears improve. I mean, outside of the first, drive of the game, the Bears offense has stunk, and Caleb Williams has not
Yeah,
been good at all to start this year. So against the Cowboys defense that just got absolutely shredded by Russell Wilson, it's time for them to make
yeah,
an adjustment and absolutely take it to this Dallas Cowboys defense and prove that this is a different type of Bears team. Listen, Ben Johnson's a tough coach to play for. He said the practice is not up to the championship standard. He's calling out players already, saying they're not
yeah.
performing up to the standard they hold here now in Chicago. And I think there's still a lot of bad, I don't want to say vibes, but there's still a lot of like bad chemistry type things going on in that Bears locker room from what they've had to deal with in the past there. And they need to start making adjustments and moving in the right direction. This is a perfect matchup for them to do it. I talk all that about the Bears, but I'm going with the Cowboys in this one. Dak
Yeah.
Prescott, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb against probably one of the worst defenses in the NFL, and the Bears should be a good matchup for them. Let's head out to San Francisco. Cardinals versus
Oh yeah, big game.
49ers. This is going to be a good one, especially Brock Purdy listed as doubtful for this matchup. What are you looking at? Who are you taking?
Well, I took Arizona. I think I covered the team. I know a lot about this team, Arizona Cardinals. It's a big matchup for them. They're finally facing an NFC West division rival here. And what's tough is they got a quick turnaround on Thursday. They're gonna have to play Seattle on Thursday Night Football. So these are two important games. You're start off 2-0, and you got to continue to stack wins. Just
Yep.
what concerns me though about Arizona is their cornerback situation. They lost too many corners on the defensive side of the ball. Second round pick Johnson's doubtful this week, which would be another huge blow to that secondary. And then also they got two offensive linemen questionable. So if these two linemen can't go, especially Paris Johnson, their left tackle, that would be a huge loss against the 49ers. So I'm just gonna monitor their injury report because there's some key players on there.
Yeah.
And then it just that whole matchup between the 49ers wide receivers versus the Arizona secondary. Because I know Juwan Jennings out too. A lot of people are out this game.
Jawan
It'll be a
Jennings is
battle of
out? No, he's in.
he's playing?
Yeah, he's playing.
Okay, hang on. Let me find this
Jennings
tweet.
is in. Pearsall's in. Uh, that's about it as the big 49ers injuries.
Questionable. All right, Juwan Jennings and Connor Colby are both questionable.
Yeah. So when I'm
Okay.
looking at this matchup, I'm riding on the fact that the Arizona Cardinals have not impressed me through 2 weeks. They played two teams where they should have handily taken care of, and we've seen both those teams play pretty well against them, especially in the second half, making the games close. Cardinals not able to put them away. I think the Will Johnson injury is actually major in this matchup for me. And I think Kyle
Yeah.
Shanahan might be able to exploit that with either Ricky Pearsall or Jawan Jennings. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be around like 24-23, 24-21. I'm going to go with the 49ers. I think what I saw from Mac Jones last week and what he can do in a Kyle Shanahan system is he's not going to lose the team a game. Sure, he might not elevate them in the fourth quarter to go out and win a game, but he reminds me an awful lot of like what Jimmy G did for this team. Is he was steady, he was really good, he was the second fiddle to the running game there in San Francisco, and he made plays when he needed to. I think Mac Jones can do that when filling in as a starting quarterback, and I trust that. The 49ers defense is legit. Like they have made significant improvements on that side of the ball. They're going to be a very good unit this season. So I like the 49ers to win it in that one. Let's
Yeah,
go to
there's
Sunday
yeah.
Night Football. Chiefs, Giants, the battle of 0-2s for the first Sunday matchup of 0-2s, I think, since 2005. Dan, is there a reality where the Kansas City Chiefs are 0-3 heading into week 4?
Well, I hope not for your sake, because there's gonna be a riot on Sunday night.
There might
But,
just be that would be a good live stream though, that's for sure.
man, that'd be crazy if the Giants could pull it off. Just
Yeah.
just like I said earlier in the week, man, I would like to see the Chiefs, run the football more, have more success. You can't have Patrick Mahomes 3 games in a row being the team's leading rusher on offense.
Yep.
So I would like to get them going, slow down that, New York Giants pass rush, and then hopefully the offenses start clicking.
Yeah, it's all tied in with the running game. They are
Yeah.
minus point 2 in EPA per rush, which is absolutely abysmal. Mahomes has played bad to start this season. I mean, they're just reeling right now. They need some sort of spark on the offensive side of the ball. And through 2 weeks, it's been their best two players outside of Patrick Mahomes that have lost them games. In week 1, it was Chris Jones trying to rush inside, lost contain, and the Chiefs don't get a chance to go win the game against the Chargers. It was Travis Kelce who dropped a touchdown that should have gave the Chiefs the lead in the fourth quarter, but instead it's an interception. Literally, two Hall of Fame players lost the Chiefs 2 games against playoff teams. I think the Chiefs should be ready for this one. It's going to be a tighter game than people expect. The Giants' defense is pretty good. They have solid edge rushers on this team that make it difficult. And I think Russell Wilson can always be a little bit flashy at times and frisky. I got the Chiefs, but don't expect this to just be like a 28-14 game. It's going to be a tough nose 27-24, 24-21 type game that the Chiefs are going to have to find a way to win in the fourth quarter once again because they're just not super talented on the offensive side of the ball. And that's just where they're at right now. And then, Dan, there was one. The game of the week,
Huh.
Detroit Lions, Baltimore Ravens. Who are we taking and why?
It's gonna be a great game. I think it's gonna be another high scoring game here on Monday Night Football. I took Baltimore because Lamar Jackson. I think the Detroit Lions play a lot of man coverage, and if something's not there, Lamar's gonna take off and run. But the matchups I'm looking forward to is both teams can run the football. So I just want this is gonna be a fun game to watch if you like blocking because there's gonna be a lot of Derrick Henry and Jahmyr Gibbs are going to have great games against both defenses here.
Yeah. I think
Rush
the
EPA.
matchup I'm looking at though is the Ravens defense. Like against good teams, the Ravens defense to start the season has just not been at an elite level. We saw them get absolutely shredded by Buffalo in the second half when Josh
Yeah.
Allen went ballistic against them. If the Detroit Lions can establish a run early, I think that momentum might carry them into a successful day. But it comes down to this for me. Jared Goff in his career against the Ravens, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, has struggled on the road historically in his career. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are one of the most overpowered offenses in terms of talent in the NFL. Good offensive line. You get Derrick Henry. Zay Flowers is a really underrated receiver. DeAndre Hopkins looks like he's performing very well in a Ravens uniform when they need him to. I like the Ravens in this one. I think they take care of business. And that is the week 3 slate for all of you guys here on the Blitz Angle. Drop a comment down below what you think the best matchup of the week is. Hit that subscribe button for more Blitz Sports Media content. And me and Dan will catch you guys next time.